Hello and welcome to Chaotic Recap. I'm Tiana Hanson and I play Andraste Nialo on Chaos Agents. This is the recap for Episode 2, Finding Floon. We pick this episode up at the Skewered Dragon Saloon looking for Floon Blagmar. The group enters a rundown tavern with a few dock workers drinking and minding their own business. Not heeding Uzo's advice, Remy steps up to a table and engages in conversation with patrons Jason and Steven, ordering them a round of drinks. Jason shares the rumor of buried treasure, and Zentarum and Xanathar have been fighting over it. They confirmed they saw Floon 2 nights ago drinking with Volo. After Volo's departure, Lord Renaer Neverember sat down and drank with Floon. As Renaer was escorting Floon home, a few men dressed in black with a snake tattoo appeared. Bored with this conversation, Uzo approaches a hooded man with green spectacles sitting in the corner of the bar. The man introduces himself as Barnabas Blastwind of the Watchful Order of Magis and Protectors. We learn he is investigating the feud between the Xanathars and the Zentarum. Barnabas suspects the theft of a gemstone started this feud. The rest of the group joins their table. Barnabas turns the tables on the group and asks questions of the group. Uncomfortable giving solid answers, the group tries to leave. But Barnabas stops them and makes them aware that they should register as a group with the City Watch. After much arguing, they investigate outside the tavern and find a trail of blood that heads off to the east in the direction of a warehouse on Candle Lane. Eventually arriving at a darkened warehouse with an image of a winged snake on it, they approach carefully. Andraste peers inside. Besides the standard boxes and barrels, she sees the room is in disarray and several dead bodies. They attempt to sneak in, and fail, but enter nonetheless. Andraste finds corpses from a dozen men and 4 avian-like creatures standing watch. They take care of 3 of the 4 Kenku and subdue and tie up the remaining beast. The hostage Kenku repeats some key phrases he has heard that leads the group to enter a back room to find Lord Renaer Neverember. He is untied and explains that Xanathar's men killed the Zentarum henchmen and stole the Stone of Galore, which allows dragons to enter Waterdeep. Just in time, the City Watch show up to take the Kenku into custody. The group was left with one remaining clue: follow the yellow sign in the sewers. But before they do so, the group returns to the yawning portal for some rest. After the rest of them go to bed, Remy sits in the pub with Renaer. Renaer feels that he was kidnapped because the kidnappers thought he was his father. The kidnapping happened because the Xanathar are looking for the Stone of Galore. Xanathar had it, but then the Zentarum took it, and now the Xanathar want it back. Renaer thinks it's worth 1,000,000 dragons. Remy and Andraste have a short exchange. We discover that Andraste is a wood elf down from the high forest, and Remy is a bounty hunter by trade, but his origins are on the sea. Renaer retires, and Volo joins the two at their table to congratulate the two in finding Renaer. Remy makes a pass at Andraste. She declines and reminds him that she has her own bed. Rejected, Remy curls up at the bottom of Uzo's bed in their common room. Early the next morning, Remy wakes with a snake on his face. The snake slithers back into Uzo's clothes, where Remy notices Uzo is using his pirate flag as earplugs since Ruckus snores away. Renaer is ready for the group in the morning with a large breakfast. They discuss how elves sleep. After breakfast, Renaer is ready in his lightly used leathers and chain. The group makes their way back through town to the same sewer grate. Ruckus jumps in first and splashes down into several inches of waste material. To the right, they see an image of a beholder drawn on the wall. Andraste magically lights the pirate flag to light the way. The group walks for about an hour, where they reach an intersection. They see a tiny beholder floating, blocking the exit up ahead. The beholder attacks Ruckus and bounces off his shield, doing no damage. Remy weaves through the opponents and strikes 2 fatal blows to the tiny beholder and skewers it. The group convinces Uzo to climb up and listen at the metal grate. Upon hearing nothing, Ruckus tries to open the grate as quietly and slowly as possible. It opens up into a storeroom full of casks. Remy stealthily climbs into the cellar to find a stairway leading up to what sounds like a few people conversing in the room above. As the rest of the group makes it to the cellar, they hear what sounds like an inn preparing for their morning crowd. As the proprietor makes his way to the cellar, the group scurries back down the hole. The group continues to slosh through the sewers and come to a stop in a circular room with a stone column. To the left of the wall, Uzo spots an arrow slit in the wall. Remy investigates and finds nothing in the opening, as he's unable to see in the dark. Andraste looks in to see a goblin sleeping in a chair. Uzo shoots his crossbow and hits the creature and pins it to the wall. Thus is born Blind Man Shoot Good. To the left is a ledge and a doorway. They approach quietly and check for traps. They do see the yellow symbol, but it's been wiped off. They continue through the door and down the hall to the next door, beyond which there is another goblin, and the group quickly takes care of him. Renair loots the body and finds a single nib. They continue down the hallway and turn to the right to enter another hall, rougher in texture. Eventually, they enter a barracks with 6 straw mattresses and a door to the other side, where they hear a voice saying, "You've got to block the ground first." Ruckus opens the door to another room with 2 people trying to secure the door on the opposite side. Ruckus recognizes one of the Zentarum from the yawning portal. Remy sneaks in and stealthily hits one of the men, upon which he yells, "Ooze!" as he collapses. The other man yells, "We're trying to stop the ooze!" A gray ooze seeps through the floor. The man strikes it with his rapier, but his rapier is rendered useless as it corrodes. Uzo steps up and casts Eldritch Blast. Remy hits it with his dagger and loses the dagger to the ooze. The guy with the yellow hair turns to fight and attacks Ruckus, and his friend runs away through the other door. Ruckus hits the legs of the blonde man. Renair comes in and takes him down. Andraste takes off after him and shield bashes him and takes him down. She interrogates him to find that Floon is 30 feet down the tunnel. Andraste runs down the tunnel to find a half-orc torturing Floon in front of a stone throne. Another tall, thin figure with tentacles coming from his head is watching from the throne. The half-orc smacks Floon across the face and he falls to the ground. Remy sneaks in and throws his dagger at the half-orc before he can kill Floon. The half-orc goes down and the Mind Flayer floats up and leaves. Remy gives chase but cannot find him. The rest of the party attends to Floon and revives him. The party levels up. And that's the recap for Episode 2, Finding Floon. Join the Chaos Agents live every Tuesday night on twitch.tv/questsandchaos at 7 p.m. Pacific. And until we meet again, may the light of Lyra shine upon you.